Everyone, and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you how easy it is to make acrylic skins for collage papers. Now, I make all kinds of acrylic skins if you've seen my channel, a lot of the times with mixed pour paint like this, but I'm going to show you ways to make acrylic skins where you don't have to mix anything, and most of the time you can use what you have lying around the house. So these papers that I'm going to be showing you how to do are great for collages, for journaling, for things like that, as well as for making all kinds of projects. Now, I am beginning with a silicone mat, and I am just using this white silicone mat that's already stained because I am going to be using a color that actually stains, and I'm going to be using pour paint, which is basically paint and a pouring medium like Floetrol or another kind of fluid medium, and then water usually to thin it out. So I'm just going to be really quick and easy. This is the easiest thing you can do. You just put a lot of zigzags on your mat, or easier, you might have it around your house, freezer paper. Use the shiny side of freezer paper. You can also use notebook dividers, anything that your paint will come off of. So I am just going to very quickly and very easy, this is how easy it is, I am just going to do lots and lots of little zigzags onto my silicone mat. And that's it. I'm going to allow that to dry. So I'm going to put that over there and I'm going to let it dry, and we're going to move on to our next paper, and I'm going to show you what I do to get it off of this silicone mat. Now I've got another silicone mat and a tray. I like to use trays. It just makes it easier to move them around without messing them up. Now this is leftover pour paint. It has started to dry, and this happens to a lot of pour painters or people who work in fluid art. So what you can do to make another really cool piece for your papers is just use a cup, and I'm just using it as a circle print. This is kind of a very toxic lime green. It just reminds me of hazardous waste. Maybe it's the symbol there, but I'm just going to use that and just dab it on to my silicone mat or my freezer paper or my divider, whatever plastic that I'm using, and that's all I'm going to do. Now I can do a whole sheet of these, I can do a partial sheet of these, I could just make it as big as I need. I'm not going to do the whole entire piece because you really could literally have an entire paper made of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this down. There is nothing underneath it. Now there are several ways to do this in order to remove it, but I'm going to be doing the one that is easiest, in that you know you already have your design, you know you already have your paint down, and you know all you're going to have to do is pull that exact print off. So I'm just finishing that up, and there we go. So now I have a nice print for my collage paper. Now, while this is drying, I'm going to work on another one. Now, this is for people who don't have pour paint. You may have craft paint. And the cool thing about craft paint is it is so thin that you don't really have to add anything to it. So if you have old craft paint lying around, you can make your collage papers with this. And when I say collage papers, they're really collage skins, and they have that ability to see through them. Now I have made stained glass skins, and I can put those, link that down below if you're interested in something that looks more like stained glass. But right here I'm just using gloppy old folk art paint, and I think I also have a deco art paint. This is the deco art here, and these are glow in the dark, so even more fun. You can have glow in the dark collage papers. So if you've never thought about the possibilities of craft paint, then here's a great way to think about it. These are all glow in the dark, but you could also do glitter paints, you could also do metallics, whatever you want, and it's just pure paint. And I'm just going to clean this up because I don't like this little glop, and because it's on silicone, very easy to clean it up. I'm not going to hide that from you. I'm just going to make this look a little bit nicer by cleaning up that little glop of paint, because this paint is really old. It's a great way to use not only your older pour paints, but also your old craft paint. So these are some ideas, and I have a few more for you. And can you use glue and water? I know I'm going to get that question. Yes, you can. You can use glue and water in your acrylic paints in order to create these designs. Not a problem. They'll be a little bit more brittle, and with the technique I'm going to show you on how to remove it, then it's going to be pretty easy to remove it as well. Now I'm just going to quickly make a regular skin. You may have seen me make all kinds of skins. I have a video on how to make acrylic skins very simply. This one's going to be a little bit more complicated, but I just thought, well, let me make sure, if you don't know what an acrylic skin is, it is just basically dried acrylic paint. paint. And in my case, I usually do it with some sort of pour medium, which this is Floetrol and water. But Liquitex makes a fluid medium, and so does Golden and every other company out there. And there are also pre-mixed paints that you can use. Now I'm going to show you that you can do all kinds of designs and make a regular acrylic skin. However, these acrylic skins are not as good for journaling and collages because you can't see through them. I have all kinds of paintings actually using skins, manipulating skins, and all kinds of projects that I do. So check out my channel for all the ideas. There are all kinds of ways to make and use acrylic skins, and in this very traditional skin, it's going to be a pattern and going to be more interesting on the back side, which I'll show you at the end of the video. But they're so fun to make, and they are so versatile. So this one, you won't need to do anything to remove it. It will peel very easily from this silicone mat, and you will have a really great result. And you can use it for just about anything. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you to do, for those of you who like stencils, yes, you can create skins from stencils. Now, a lot of times you may use modeling paste on something to do this, especially for collages or abstract work. But you can also just use plain old acrylic paint. I'm using titanium white from Liquitex Basics here, and I'm using it straight from the tube. So no, you don't have to have any kind of pour medium. You literally can use your paint straight from the tube to make your skins. And that's true pretty much from any kind of skin that you do. I'm just going to take my palette knife, and I'm going to be very careful and make sure that I cover the whole thing. Just get it straight down and try to make it as smooth as possible. Now, if you don't want them smooth, you don't have to be, but I want it smooth, and I really like this particular stencil, and it can add a lot of interest into your journaling and collage papers. So what I'm going to do is just peel that stencil right off. It's pretty easy to do. Grab that corner and just yank it off, and here we go. Now I could have cleaned it up, and I could still clean it up, or I could line this side by side just like you can do with any stencil and make a whole page of this particular stenciled print. And I will show you how I'm going to get that off, because you're like, hey, am I going to have to peel every little piece? No, absolutely not. So let's get these dried. Okay, so this is my dried stencil right here. I can touch it. It's completely dried, and I'm going to show you what I do to get this off. These are also dried as well. They've dried perfectly. Pretty cool. Very 80s vibe on that one. And I'm going to show you what I do to get it off. Now, normally you can just peel it off. Like, this is a traditional skin left over from a pour painting. I just twirled it around. It's not like this one that's very, very delicate. So in order to get this off, I'm going to be using something like this. Now, this is matte fluid medium, and this is your high gloss fluid medium. They're both by Liquitex. There are many, many brands of these out here, and I'm just going to put it over the top. Now, you can use a brush like this one. Always use a soft bristle brush for this, or you will have lots of lines. You can use a brayer. This particular brayer has a little bit of texture, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover these with my medium in order to lift them off. Otherwise, I'm going to get lots of bits and pieces. Now, this is my other one. I didn't show you this. It is also dry, as you can see, and all I have to do is paint over the top with my medium. Now, this is my matte medium, and some mediums will dry very clear, some won't. This one has a little bit of color to it. I'm just going to use the brayer to show you you can do this. This particular brayer, there's lots of texture, so if you don't want texture, you might not want to use a brayer like this. You may want to choose something like the soft bristled brush, because there is a lot of texture. So if you just want to go over that with a brush, you can do that. Or if you want a very non-textured surface, you can try something that a lot of pour painters do when they pull their paint, and that is to use something like a piece of plastic. Now, this plastic, you can just go right over the top, just like this. It's been used, that's why it looks like that, and just pull. And if you do that, you can get a pretty smooth surface, and you're good to go. You're just going to let this dry, and you may need to make several coats depending on what your design is, but 3 coats is plenty. Sometimes 1 coat will work. This will allow you to pull the whole thing up in one piece. Just make sure that it's clean, because if anything that's stuck on there, that's going to be in your final piece. So if you have trash, you want to get rid of it. Add several thin layers over the top. And this is the matte medium, but I am going to be using the gloss medium on this one. I just pour it directly on there and then just going to brush it over the top. I've actually been known to use my fingers, which I will not promote here, but I think that when you just put your finger over the top with this fluid medium, it gets really flat and usually works out pretty well and levels off. Now I'm going to put that away to dry, and I'm going to do this one. We had several to do. I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of the gloss medium over the top. This is fluid medium. This is not pouring medium, even though there are some pouring mediums you probably can use. They dry differently. They're usually not as flexible, but it could be a look that you want. You can also use impasto for this and lots of other gel mediums. Golden makes a good one. You can use those as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and pill this up. I've used my fingernails to kind of get it started, and so you can see this. This one I have been very liberal with, and this is the gloss fluid medium, and I'm just peeling it off, which by the way is so incredibly satisfying. It's kind of like peeling glue off your hands when you're in grade school. It's just an enjoyable thing to do. Just being very careful so that I don't tear them up. And this one kind of looks a little more plasticky because I've used the high gloss medium, but there we go. You can see straight through it, and you can see how using this in a project or in a journal would really work. This is the matte medium here on this stencil, and I have to be super careful with this one. I'm just going to get it started so that I can peel it up. And I got some outside, which makes it a little bit harder when you go as far out as I did. I just wanted to make sure that it was going to come up for this video. I was going to make sure that it came up, and as you can see, it does. Now, what is the advantage of putting this on the medium? Look at that. Instead of the paper, well, you can see through it, and you can see whatever is underneath. So it's just like a layering effect. It works really good for layers. So for example, if you have something like this card that has words on it, then it works really well. You can see through it. I'm going to grab this one. This might be a little easier to see because it's a little bit looser in form. And when you put it down, look, you can see straight through it. So great if you have musical notes and letters. It works great too, or you've got something that you want to see underneath it. And that's the whole point of using the gel medium and making it more see-through. This is also great for projects on lucite, something like that, where you want to still be able to see the medium that you're using. It works really well. And you can cut these however you want to cut them. They don't have to stay like this. This just allows you to pull them off. You can also do the gel medium underneath. The only thing about that is if you want to fix your design, you don't really have that freedom if you've put the gel medium down to dry first and then did this over the top of it. You don't have as much freedom. And I like the freedom of having a design that I actually like before I gel over it. And you can see this is my fingernail technique here. I'm sure you could use a razor blade or something else. You be careful, you do cut your mats with the razor blades. And I'm just going to very carefully, this one's incredibly delicate, and this one only has one layer over the top of it. So just being very careful that I don't disturb the little circles because the paint is very thin. This technique also works really well if you have skins from pour painting that are sort of thin, or from balloon dips and they're really thin and you don't know how you're going to get them off your freezer paper. Well, use the gel medium to get them off. There we go. Love it. Love it. You can just kind of see what you could do to enhance your collages and be able to see your beautiful collage papers that you've made. Now I'm going to go ahead and peel this too. This is a traditional one. It ran a little bit. I got it off kilter, but you can see cool design you can make with just a traditional skin, but you cannot see through this. But I just wanted to do a traditional skin too. Now this one right here. Now let me show you something about these. Now if you have difficulty peeling them up like this one, if you don't put enough coats over the top of the medium in order to get it up and it starts to tear, now the only thing that you have to do is get a little bit of the medium back, brush it over the top, sit it to the side, and then you'll be able to pull it right up. Now I just wanted to show you this. This is pure paint. These are pearl paints. This is Liquidex's version of pearl paints, and they are literally just smeared on. They're smeared on with a palette knife, but you could even use your fingers to do this. And look how beautiful. These are wonderful. Just a little bit of medium over the top. They'll pill right up, and you can use these for your abstract works or for your journaling or for your collage papers, and so much bang for your buck for this. Nothing special, but just pure paint. So there's so many possibilities when making these skins for collage. So many. I hope I've got your creative juices flowing with all the ways that you can use acrylic skins in your abstract art, your collages, and other projects. If you're interested in learning more about acrylic skins, if you're interested in jewelry making, and you're interested in literally painting with acrylic skins to create entire works of art, then please check out my channel and let me know what you think in the comments below. How can you use acrylic skins in your art and creative projects? Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye now.